early on was Agent Carter. And I know it's a small role, but it's a very, very big show. So maybe let's go with a twofold question on this one.
Yeah.
Given that was one of your first very big sets, what's something that made you say, this is far easier or better than I ever expected? And then on the flip side, what is something that made you go, whoa, like I didn't realize this was going to be such a big challenge. I got to work on this for my next thing.
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like, I'm from a big, like my dad is a huge Marvel fan and like a huge like Disney fan. And so I remember like we would go like opening weekend to every Marvel movie. And those started coming, I guess Iron Man came out when I was maybe like probably around the same time I started at like 11. And so so like when I booked Agent Carter, I was like, this is the MCU, you know what I mean? And I was like, this is so crazy. And I think there was a lot of like stuff around that where I like remember it's so like secretive, and like I got like an email like the night before with like my sides and like the like parts of the script, and then like you know what I was like, oh, this is such a big, it's Marvel, like this is such a huge thing. But then it was like I got to set for that, and I had done a pilot for Nickelodeon earlier in that year, and then I like and it was really cool, but it wasn't like, you know what I mean, like it was a Nickelodeon show, and it was really fun and very like cool, and everyone was so nice, but it wasn't like the stakes of a Marvel project. And then like working on Agent Carter that day, I was like, oh, this isn't so different than working on the Nickelodeon set. You know what I mean? And then it was kind of just a thing of like movies is movies. There's a video that I saw the other day from them filming A New Hope. And it's like Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill, and they're like running through a corridor. And then George Lucas is like, cut. And then they're like, can we go home? Like, was that good enough? And then he like looks at it and he's like, oh, the boom mic was in it. And they're like, and they have to do it again. And I was like, oh, movies are all just the same, no matter what scope that they're on, which I think is really cool. And that was something that like working on Agent Carter, I was like, this is really neat. Like, it's just people making TV at the end of the day, like no matter what the IP around it is. But then also working on Agent Carter, like it did feel, it was so interesting to see all these people like devoting so much time to something that was so like beloved by the public. And that was something that was so interesting, of like the writers were like so dedicated to like the source material, and like the actors were so dedicated to like portraying these characters that have been around for like generations, you know what I mean? So that was really cool. And then just like the scope of it was so grand, and that was something that I was like, whoa, like this is so, it is as unserious as it is also so serious to make movies and like to do things that are for the public and like make people so emotional, and you know what I mean? Like that people really love, which was cool. It was cool like to do all of that in one day.